All right, welcome back in another episode of Indiebnb. Today I'm joined by my roommate live from my basement, Matt Morabito. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. Long time fan, first time caller.
There we go. There we go. This is the first of its kind. We're not interviewing an actual band tonight. Obviously, we're going to get some insights into Mr. Morabito's musical history, some background. Get into a little bit more about what makes him and what shapes the music that he listens to today and how it shapes his life. So Matthew, let's first start off. What's the first song you remember hearing in your entire
Wow.
life?
The first song I remember hearing my entire life. I don't know if this is truly the first song I ever heard, but the first song I remember would have to be my mom singing "You Are My Sunshine" to me. How about that? A deep cut.
That's a
A
deep
deep
cut.
cut.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Also, before we get too far away, I just want to say when we were talking about this podcast earlier, I was like, you're explaining to me how I would fall into the order and how you've had all these musicians and talented folks on here. And I kind of feel like honored that I'm the least talented guest that you've ever had. I feel like Mr. Irrelevant, Like I just made the cut.
I tell you what, man, you are your best ability is your availability, and my friend, you were available tonight as
That's
I
right.
just accosted you to do this. So
That's right.
I don't think you're the least talented. I don't think you're the most talented. I think that we all fall on a spectrum, and everyone's
Sure.
got a lot to offer. So and
Absolutely.
you've got what you have to offer for us today. I think a new perspective upon going to concerts, right? Like we
Yeah.
all, a lot of the people who were fans of this show, who are people who've been on the show, like they go to a lot of shows, and so from your perspective, like what makes something great? What makes a good concert night? For you, Matt Morabito.
Wow. I think a handful of things. I think, the easy thing to go to is sort of the artist and how important that artist is to you. But I think it's really a great concert night is comprised of, not only the artist, but the venue and the people you're with, the people that are around you that you may not know. Sort of those things. So like there's a lot that can go into a great concert night, and it doesn't have to be these huge, arena shows or amphitheater shows. It can be, I think actually a lot of the best shows that I've been to are oftentimes like kind of smaller, lesser known artists because it's a little more intimate. So depending on what you're looking for and what kind of artists that I'm excited to go see, it really depends on all of those things, I guess. Yeah, it's weird because I've had great times at huge music festivals, and I've had amazing times at tiny, shows, not tiny shows, but smaller shows at like Eddie's Attic, in Decatur. So it really just depends on what you're in the mood for, I think.
I love it. I love it. Well, for you, I mean, do you have a couple of top moments that you've, that stick out in your mind where like all of the boxes were checked? The artist was great, the venue was great, the people you were with were great, the people around you were great, and
Yeah.
affected that response. So like, who gave you the quadruple double? In that case, what artist and where was it?
I have a couple. So, I'll give you one in the Atlanta area and one not in the Atlanta area. How about that? The first one for me, where everything really came together, not first one chronologically, but the first one I'd like to discuss is seeing St. Paul and the Broken Bones at the Eastern was amazing. I've been following St. Paul for, over 10 years, maybe 15 years now, which is wild. I've seen them play twice in Columbia, South Carolina, and then I think 3 times in Atlanta, so 5 total. But the first time I saw them at the Eastern was unbelievable just because I was with a great group of people. The Eastern as a venue is, I think, top notch. And on top of that, just what really clicked it for me is we're all. It's a great concert. I heard at one of their performances, St. Paul was being interviewed, and the interviewer was like, "Dude, I would listen to you sing the phone book. Like you're that good." And it's pretty electric. Like he is a really talented guy. But I remember like about 2/3 of the way through the show, Paul Janeway, the singer, just disappears from the stage. He's still singing, but he's gone from view. Everyone else is still playing up on the main stage, and he just appears behind us in like the upper level. And he spent the next 2 or 3 songs just in the crowd, like giving people the microphone, belting it out, and it turned it into this like interactive experience where he was like leading us in basically karaoke for a while, which was unbelievable. So that one sticks out to me for sure as like all the boxes were checked sort of deal. And then the other one that came to mind was Hangout Music Festival in 2013. And I will die on this hill. I think that may be the greatest music festival lineup ever created, at least in our lifetime. At least in our lifetime.
Wow, that's strong words from a strong man.
Yep, and I get it. I'm biased. I had a blast there. I was there with a bunch of our friends and whatever, but I have to believe it was a unique experience being on the beach in Alabama and running down the beach from the Bass Nectar show that had just ended to go get as close to the stage for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as you could be. Like, that's just such a weird collection of people.
What a sentence.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that moment in particular was pretty wild. I mean, we saw Stevie Wonder play there, Kendrick Lamar relatively early in his career. Who else? I mean, everybody, even like the early in the day folks were awesome. The first show we saw there was probably at 1 p.m. and it was Toots and the Maytals, which was unbelievable to see. They covered John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads, but instead of West Virginia said West Jamaica, and it just like blew my mind. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, that's 13 years ago, but I remember being a younger version of myself just in awe at what was going on at that place. So those are my two moments that have come to memory first.
I mean, what a lineup that you got at that Hangout Festival, and I don't know if they still do it or not. I think it's still relative, but music festivals, they're kind of like so much in the zeitgeist now. But like there are people just like you who have that same that same kind of feeling when it was like really not as big of a thing, maybe as it is today. So that's very cool. And as the person who was a bystander at the St. Paul show, I'm just going to go ahead and use a real business term here and just say, double click on that. That was a real interesting concert, and really had a great time being able to see that one. That I've worn that shirt on this show a few times.
Nice.
So I have some memories from that specific show, and I believe they're coming back soon. So they're on their way. They're on their way back to Atlanta again. So you'll have to get maybe a second chapter at the Eastern with St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that. I would love to go see him again. It's been a while. Been a while. I know Parcels is also coming back in, I think, November or October, maybe.
October 15th, Parcels at the Eastern. We'll just make this a commercial for the Eastern, I suppose.
Sure.
But
Why not? You do a great job.
I will be at that one as well. So excited to see the Parcels. I've never seen them before live, and I've only heard good things, and I've seen due to one of our other friends, Joe Sheroff, the epic. Which one is it? He does a couple of them. What is the YouTube videos? I mean, they're seared in my memory, but I cannot remember where they are.
Oh, you mean, are you talking specifically Parcels videos?
Yeah, Parcels videos.
I mean, Tied Up right now. That's a killer one. Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that are the full sets. What are the ones?
What is the full sets? Oh my gosh. Good night. I don't remember. All that's coming to mind is both iterations of Wolfpack Live at Madison Square Garden. But that
might be what I'm confusing them with. Yeah. Again, not the same band, but essentially, you get put in a pregame with Joe Sheriff. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get Wolfpack.
Hey, I've been there. I've seen those videos myself hundreds of times. But yeah, all I can say about the Parcel Show, get ready to boogie. It was a fun time last time.
All right, we love that. Well, speaking of boogieing, I mean, like, look, I know you. I know what you got going on right now. We're just talking earlier today, and you're planning a wedding. You've got an assignment within that wedding that I'm assuming your bride has given you to make sure that the playlist is curated perfectly. And so, what has been going into your head about that? As look, we're a months away, but this is something you probably need to get knock it off the to-do list. Like, talk me through your strategy there.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting process so far, and it is, initially I was thinking about it, and I was really excited. Like, oh, how fun is this going to be? I get to create a playlist of like all my favorite music, and it's going to be played for all the people that I love the most in this world at my wedding. But as I dove into it, it's kind of a daunting task, actually. So, because really it's less about what music you like and more what fits the scenario where you're at. So, like, it's kind of hard to, imagine, pick however many hours of music I'll need to match, our wedding reception. I'm also in charge of the music that's going to be played during our ceremony. So I'm talking to, like string quartets, which has been really interesting. So it's been tough, and I'd say one of the most interesting things I think about that process is it's forcing me to be more open about like what I listen to on a daily basis. Because rather than like, I feel like on a daily basis I open up Spotify and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a jam. I love this song. I'm gonna listen to it and music like it. And now I kind of have to broaden my horizons to stuff that I may not know and be like, okay, what can we listen to that everyone will enjoy, while we're done with dinner, while we're starting to dance, while we're, at the rehearsal dinner, at the welcome part, stuff like that. So it's like, it's really creating multiple playlists to be the soundtrack to a whole weekend, which is pretty tough. But so far and we were actually talking about this earlier today, what I've been really focusing on is sort of the music for the times where I know people are going to be talking over it a lot, where I still want it to be good quality music. Because to be honest with you, I've always been more of a live band guy at weddings, but I'm now on board with the DJ for this one. So it's been a total change of pace. I always imagine it'd be like, all right, what will sound great at this wedding with a live band? And now it's like, okay, how do we let this DJ have fun within these parameters, that it needs to keep everyone satisfied, moving and happy. And yeah, it's been really odd, actually. It's a lot more stressful of a task than I initially realized.
So like, what's like, I mean, you're talking about music while we're eating dinner. Like,
sure.
Is that going to be Fred again? Is it going to be, some easy listening, maybe a jazz perhaps? What are the things that you're looking for that scenario? And then again, obviously the real $1 million question is what's going to get everybody on the dance floor and what's going to be the first dance. So
that's true. That is true. I actually do have my first dance song picked out for my soon-to-be wife and I, but I'm keeping that one a secret. I would love to give Indiebnb the inside scoop, but I don't think my wife even knows it yet. My soon-to-be wife even knows it yet. So I'm going to let her give that blessing, and then I'd be happy to share it with you.
We'll have you back on.
Yeah, perfect. But another thing, you mentioned Fred again. It's funny that you said that because in a weird way, with as much as I know you listen to Fred again, I was kind of a late adopter to Fred. But now he's been like a weirdly large driving force in sort of the vibe I'm going for. Because he has a lot of music where it's like, it's it's upbeat, it's fun, it can be light, it can be heavier. But finding the right Fred songs has been that I really like has been really helpful in sort of giving me a jumping off point. And what I've been doing, I mentioned this earlier with another song we were listening to. I've been finding songs where I'm like, okay, this would be great for this moment in our wedding. So I'd play that song, and then I just let Spotify spit out stuff to me that is similar. And I've found, I mean, I don't know how many new artists that I would have never found that have really good music that are sort of in that same vein, but also do their own thing. So that's been really interesting to me, is like just broadening my horizons. I think what we're going to go for is, I think the reception itself will be pretty easy. I think I know what I'm looking for and how to get people on the dance floor. There's some classics that just like have to be played. Um, that being said, I am taking requests. If you want to hear something in particular, you just let me know and I'll make sure it's heard. But
It's a dangerous precedent to set because you really can get a wide range of things.
that is true. That is true. That's not an offer I'm giving to just everyone. So that is for you specifically. As a industry professional, I respect your judgment. So
And that
yeah.
and by what you mean there is I'm a professional wedding guest. I've
Well, I think you're a professional in both regards. You have a music podcast, and you are also by far gold medalist in wedding guesting. So yeah. What's going to be interesting, and if I'm going on about the wedding music too much, just let me know. But one thing that I found was really cool was actually like Callie and I agreed on. We want the DJ for the reception, but we want somebody in person to be playing music while we're during our ceremony, and sorting through like an oddly large catalog of violinists and celloists and things like that has been really interesting. I found this one group. I can't remember. I want to say it's like Sinfo Beats or something is their name. I'll remember their Instagram later, but they have like all electric violins and cellos and portable amps. So they can be like walking around and like playing the violin. And I watched like a ton of their stuff because they were just so good. So I've been having a lot of fun doing that because that's just so far out of my wheelhouse. Like I'll listen to classical-ish music, once or a couple times a month, just when I'm working to keep something going on. But I never really listen to it on a daily basis for sure. So listening and diving into that stuff has been pretty fun, actually.
Interesting. What's the aisle walk down song? Can we get the exclusive on that?
Yes, that is going to be a song that we both love, which is Hell Yeah by Hell Yeah off of the album Hell Yeah.
For those who don't know, that's my funeral playlist opener. Hell Yeah by Hell Yeah on the album Hell Yeah. And if you haven't heard it, you don't give a shit. Go get your Hell Yeah, man. Throwing bows in the pit, you get your Hell Yeah.
Hey,
I'll
all
sing
I
the
have
whole
to
thing
say
right
about
now.
that is Hell Yeah.
That's right. That's
Hell
right.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I tell you what, that's going to be a banger going walking down the aisle for that.
Yeah.
Bold that you guys are choosing that. What's after this. You're walking back down the aisle after it's over. You're now hitched forever to Cali. I mean, what are we doing there?
Oh man, I haven't gotten that far. I don't know. I really haven't got. Our walkout song is going to be a tough one because it's got to be fun. Actually, if I had to call it right now, I might choose something by Stevie Wonder for some reason. And that doesn't work with a violin and or a cello, but I may bring in a speaker just for that because I remember being there for his concert and, he's just one of the greatest like performers and musicians of all time. And that has like a special place in my heart just from the time that I was there. And I think that'd be really fun.
All
Yeah.
right, we're making decisions on this podcast. Hey, next up,
Yeah.
we're going to figure out where what kind of forks we're doing and what kind of cutlery will be available.
Three-pronged forks. Three-pronged forks, not
Got to
four.
go to not four, three. Got it.
We're going
Okay.
tridents.
I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you sharing all that. Obviously, as people are planning a wedding, very, very stressful time. Other than that, as far as something you would say is the soundtrack to your life, if you're, in the car for a long drive, give us, one song that you're going to play on a long car ride.
Ooh. Okay. I have a clarifying question. Am I driving?
Yes.
Okay. If I'm driving, long car ride, just cruising, I'm listening to Dust in a Baggie by Billy Strings. There's something about that song. It just makes me want to put the pedal to the metal.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It is kind of odd. I love listening to like bluegrass music when I'm driving, just because it's a little more upbeat, fast paced, and it keeps me entertained and focused. And I listen to a lot of Billy Strings. I know he's not necessarily bluegrass, but Tyler Childers and Sturgill Simpson too will often be played in my car if I'm on a long car ride. I think they're really good. If I had to guess, in addition to them being like more upbeat, most of the time, specifically the bluegrass, I think those three people that I just named have in common that they're really good storytellers within their music. So I enjoy listening to them because they're obviously insanely talented and their songs are catchy and fun, but also they're telling, real stories that are interesting, and they're often, somewhat coded. They're not always spoken or sung with straightforward lyrics. So it's fun kind of deciphering what their story is and how it ties into their life and where they came from when they were writing that and performing it. So yeah. And to be fair, I've never thought that deeply about why I listen to that music. So if that does not make sense, I apologize, but that's my best guess.
I mean, I tell you what, it sounded like you've already practiced that whole entire spiel. So I think you nailed it there. But as we kind of transition out, want to get you into the Pete Peterson party pack of questions. 20 questions, rapid fire, right in a row.
Let's go.
I know you are a G-free man, so please assume any food-based questions are G-free.
Okay.
Therefore, we're not going to be like, well, I can't have that. It's like, it's fucking G-free, Beto. So we're going to go ahead and just we're going that way. All right.
Great.
Here we go. Number one, cake or pie? Matthew Morabito.
Oh, man. Cake.
He's caking it up. All right.
Cake.
Here we go. Salad or soup?
Oh, salad, actually, I think.
Salad. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Oh, sunset, for sure. Big sunset guy.
Love it. Golden hour, baby. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Home run or a touchdown? What would you rather score?
Oh. Home run. Home run.
All right.
I'd love to launch that bat.
Yeah, there we go. Pimp the bat out. I like it. All right. Night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
Ooh, these days, night's in. Night's in, for sure.
Okay. All right, when you do go out and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
Oh, robot. Robot. I leave the worm to you. I leave the floor work to you, G-Man.
All right. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Queso, all day. All day.
Queso, all day. All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Ooh. I'm a pancake man. I don't know why. I'm a pancake man.
Pancake man.
Yeah.
All right. Coffee or tea with your pancakes?
Ooh. I'm a tea guy. Tea guy.
Tea-man?
Yeah,
tea man.
I'm a tea man.
All right. All right. We love it.
Yeah.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs all day.
Dogs all day. All right. Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Ooh. Oh. This is a stumper for me. I think pirates are on beaches more often. So I think I identify with pirates more. But I also am in love with the stealth of a ninja. So if I had to pick one, I'm going ninja, actually.
Ninja. All right.
Ninja. Yeah.
Lane Joe, we like it. All right,
Yeah.
chips or pretzels?
Chips.
Chips.
Without a doubt.
All right.
Yeah.
Fries or tots?
Fries. Fries for
Fries.
sure. Fries.
All
Yeah.
right. After a long day, you're more likely to unwind with a TV show or a movie?
Ooh, TV show. TV show.
All right.
Good series. Yeah.
Love it. Are aliens real?
I think the sheer size of everything leads me to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
He's an aliens guy. All right.
Yeah.
If you were a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be?
Ooh. You know, I have no explanation for this, but I'm going to say blueberry.
You eat a lot of them. That's probably why.
They're good. They're good.
I agree. All right. Is love at first sight real, Bito?
I think so. I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
And give you two bands that we ought to know, that we ought to check out.
Ooh, two bands that you ought to know. That's a great question. Let me think. Man, two bands that we ought to know.
You can just give me one if you want.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a really tough one. Man, as of right now, how about this? I don't know. I don't know if I know any that like I can stand by and be like, look, not enough people know about this guy. But I will say a fun up and coming band that is like, I think there's a bit of a nostalgia to it just because right now they feel like such a college band. And I remember what that was like. But these guys put out some good music. I'm going to say Congress.
Congress the band. Go
Yeah.
check them out. That's on Matt Morabito's playlist on repeat.
Yep.
Well, Matthew, appreciate you taking the time to get in and go through the Indiebnb. Good luck with your wedding. Look forward to experiencing it myself.
Yes.
And I will be sure to let the listeners know what you ended up choosing in all of the facets that we mentioned here. And appreciate you taking the time to share your concert experience and basically let us do a commercial for the Eastern here.
Yeah. Hey, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on. And I'm looking forward to what you grade my wedding music choices.
Can't wait. All right, man.
All righty, dude. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.